Hello, hello. I was trying to decide between these two foundations for which first impression we're going to film today. As you know from the title, we're going with the MAC. I've also got this Morphe Lightform Extended Hydration Foundation, which sounds amazing, but I do think today it might just be like, you know, a shade too light. The MAC Studio Radiance Serum Powered Foundation is what we're using today, and I got the shade NC20, which is like a go-to for me. Even looks like slightly too dark, to be honest. And I've got like a pretty fresh fake tan on. We'll make it work. So here's the box that it comes in, just typical MAC packaging. And I bought this off Mecca, I believe. 209% more hydrated skin instantly. 24-hour hydration, 80% skincare base, which sounds kind of epic. With hyaluronic acid, it's medium buildable coverage, radiant glow finish, 12-hour wear, transfer resistant, non-creasing, non-caking, and does not clog pores. So I mean, that sounds pretty amazing. Let me see how much it cost. 84 New Zealand dollars. It's pretty pricey. There are 56 shades, which is epic. A softly luminous and skin enhancing foundation. Olive and jojoba oils to condition your skin. Vitamin E to help protect your skin from pollution and blue light. There are so many different amazing ingredients in this. It sounds really good. It's pricey. It better be good. It's got no reviews on Mecca as I'm filming this, so I have no idea what other people think of this. I feel like lately I've had better luck when it's like a serum skincare based product with brushes. So I think we'll try a brush. I do have a sponge here just in case, but like, I don't know, I feel like when they're really liquidy, the sponge can almost like soak up too much. Oh my God. Why is it every time that I'm gonna like film a video, this happens lately? I'm going to go in with a primer on half of my face, just so we can see if there's any difference between the longevity, the application, the like appearance of it. And today I'm using this Milani Supercharged. We'll give this a shake. I don't know. I'm assuming this is going to be like thin and liquidy because it's a serum powered foundation, but who knows, because it is studio, like their studio range. And when I think of like the MAC Studio range, I think of like coverage, glam. Like you guys know I love the Studio Fix powder. It's like my holy grail pressed powder. We're just gonna have to ignore the lighting for a second. But who knows, maybe it's just called serum powered because it's got like all of these different skincare ingredients, but it might be like, I don't know, thick. So let's like give it a go. It's got a pump, which is amazing, and it does lock, which is essential for the makeup bag. Okay, there's one pump. It looks reasonably liquidy, but it's not like, yeah, it feels kind of just like the normal Studio Fix fluid from memory. I mean, I haven't used it in the longest time. It's got like no scent to it that I can smell. Feels good. Like on my fingers, it feels really nice. It feels like kind of like cooling, and it feels immediately hydrating. It feels like I've just put on serum. 100%. That's kind of buzzy. I'm gonna use a I'm gonna use a flat face brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. I won't worry too much about the under eye area because I'll put on concealer, but maybe a sponge would be better for this. I don't feel like it's like clinging, but I feel like you do need to get in there and like really buff it out. It's not one of those ones that just like glides across. Like you kind of have to give it a bit of like something to like disperse, but it's not flaking up or going dry looking. I'm going to zoom you in and keep it kind of dark so you can kind of see the texture of my skin. Hopefully you can see. I can't see what I'm doing. The color looks great. I feel like it has a slight kind of like luminous finish to it. I think I was like iffy about the application at first, but now that it's blended out, I think the brush like works well. You just have to kind of give it a second. It looks like skin still as well. Like I can still see a little bit of my natural like redness peeking through, but in a really nice way. You know, if you watch my videos, that's kind of like my preference because it's like perfecting, but naturally perfecting. It doesn't look like a big blank canvas, but of course I think you could probably build it up. We'll try it soon, but first let's pop it on the primed side. We'll do one pump again, so that's a full pump. I'm just gonna spread it out. A big boy pimple right here, so we'll see how it covers. That's two pumps all over. Obviously I haven't done my like eye area, but that's like a very natural finish. Actually, look at that glow. Now that it's like all over, it's very obvious. Like the finish is so pretty. Looks so hydrated, like glass skin. Not even like shimmery or anything like that. It just looks like, I don't know, like I've just like slathered myself in serums and moisturizers. It looks very hydrating. It feels good. It doesn't feel heavy whatsoever. I'd say it definitely feels lighter than the traditional Studio Fix fluid. I do want to try just like building it up. I'm going to take one pump directly on my sponge. And I'm just going to kind of like distribute this and just see how it goes with the sponge. It works great with a sponge as well. I think it would work with whatever method you want to use. Even your fingers, I'm sure it would work great since it's like very skincare-ish, but I don't really like using my fingers personally. I think the product smooths out a bit further with a sponge. Doesn't cover the breakout very well, but I mean, not surprised. Yeah, I really like just the finish of this. I like the coverage, like when you build it up, it gives you a bit more coverage, but it still looks kind of natural. Like you can still see my skin, which I like. I think it's very pretty and very flattering. And of course you could go in with concealer if there was like anything major you wanted to conceal, like, you know, for example, pimples or like any freckles or whatever. Check my camera. NZ post. All right, I definitely need to just like bring a little bit down at my neck and chest though. You can see that undertone. Like I've always found this with the MAC liquid foundations that the NC is a little bit like almost orangey on my skin tone. I don't want to say orange compared to my natural skin tone or compared to my fake tan skin tone. I don't know, I'm a little bit more like olivey, I guess, with the fake tan on, but I've always found like once I put on powder and bronzer and everything, it always looks fine. And I don't have the same problem with like the MAC powders. Any of you guys know what the drill is with that? I'm by no means like a MAC expert. Like back in the day, I used to buy MAC because it was like the it girl product or like it girl brand on YouTube. If you know, you know, like way back in like 2012 or something. And like MAC was not easy to get, or in New Zealand anyway. The lighting is doing us no favors, but the finish, the amount of coverage. Let me do my concealer because I think once we like conceal that area, you'll be able to see it properly, because right now you're probably just looking at my under eyes. I'm just going to take this MCO Beauty Instant Concealer in the shade Light. I'm just going to pop that where I need it, which is all around the eyes. We'll blend it out with the sponge. This is the Ultra Soft Sponge Bakes for Beauty, by the way. It's my favorite in the whole world. And this concealer is like a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. It's like the same thing. So yeah, that blends well into the foundation. I know that's a random thing to say, but every now and then you come across like a foundation and they don't like certain concealers, you know? You gotta find that good combo. See, now look at the skin. You can really see. Oh, I think that's so pretty. I actually wasn't sure how much I would like this foundation because, you know, the other Studio Fix, like I used to like it, but it's not really something lately that I've like used. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't used it in literally years. So I wasn't too sure like if I would love this or just think whatever. However, is it with the price? I don't know. I guess we just see how it goes throughout the day. Definitely you could use it once again with a sponge or a brush, I believe. The sponge might be a little bit quicker, probably makes it a little bit sheerer. Probably will just come down to your personal preference. You could play around with it for sure. That pimple, I'm not even gonna bother. That's not going anywhere. First impression, obsessed with how it feels on my face, obsessed with the finish. I think the color's fine and I think it's gonna look great once I've got the rest of my makeup on. It's not like the best color, but you know, it does a good job of evening skin tone. However, you can still see some redness. So if that's something that bothers you, maybe it's not for you. Because I feel like, you know, I could keep building it up, but how much do you want to put on? Like that was already 2 coats and it didn't perfectly cover up the redness. Once again, I like this look, but I know not everyone does. Some people want to cover their redness. And if that's you, you're either going to have to use a concealer with this or just go for something different. I'm going to go in with some Cupcake by Huda Beauty to set the under eyes. I'm literally just doing like my normal routine right now, guys. I'm gonna do that. And then I don't always set the rest of my foundation, but today for the purpose of the first impression, to keep it the same as all my other first impressions, I will set this down, which I'm kind of sad about because I love the finish. However, in a normal day-to-day basis, I would just go in with setting spray and drench my face in setting spray after powdering, because that would then obviously make my skin look glowy all over again. Where's my brush? The only shade I've got right now of my Studio Fix powder is NT25. I find I can go darker with the powders because I'm not like packing them on, do you know what I mean? I do have NC20 somewhere. I think it's in my travel makeup bag though, because I took it to Auckland when I went up to Auckland, and I still have not unpacked it. It's actually just over there and I could go get it, but I'm incredibly lazy. So we're just gonna go with this color here. It's gonna be fine. Literally just doing a quick dab all over. I'm just gonna blend out that powder. The under eyes are like terrible today. Okay, so it's obviously mattified. Very sad. I prefer the finish of it not set. But in saying that, let's see how, you know, it looks once I have the rest of my makeup on and I wear it for a couple of hours, because often once it settles in, like once those powders settle down, the glow can kind of come back. So right now we're quite mattified. Hopefully it'll merge with my skin and look beautiful very soon. The time is almost 10 a.m. I'm actually gonna go do a live stream of my makeup of the day, so you guys can watch it back. It'll be already on my channel under the live tab, or I'll link it down below for you to go watch if you wanna go watch. But so far, I think it's pretty. I'm not like incredibly blown away. I do, however, love the way it feels. It feels hydrating. It actually does feel like skincare. I never know if skincare and makeup is like a scam, you know, like to me it's like kind of like, it feels really good. And something like I've found in the last couple years is I really hate when my makeup feels like really heavy. Like I can't wait for the end of the day to just like wash it off. And I'll probably feel like that regardless, just wearing makeup for a long time. But this one actually feels like skincare. It's really weird. Even like now that it's set, it just feels so like quenched. I don't even know how to describe it. It feels so good. Here's an extreme close-up for you, just so you can see the texture. I honestly cannot see a difference between primed and unprimed. I think it like literally looks so similar. I think it was slightly easier to blend on top of the primed side, but it was like a very minimal difference. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Hey guys, so the lighting's a little bit different. I've got my blind up, so this is like pure natural lighting with all of my makeup on. Once again, I did film a live stream with this makeup. It was so fun to chat to you guys. You can watch it back and see everyone's comments and everything. If you watch it, the link will be below. So you can like see everything I used and like, you know, how everything blended on top of the foundation and all of that kind of thing. I also did end up adding a little bit of concealer at the end of that video, at the end of the live stream, just to that breakout, because it got redder and angrier as the day went on. Anyways, it's almost 1 p.m. so it's been on for 3 hours now, and I just think it's looking beautiful. I did notice pretty quickly that the natural kind of finish of the foundation was starting to peek through, like on my forehead, like that nice natural like sheen, you know, like the dewy hydrated sheen that the foundation had. I have obviously a lot of powder on my cheeks, blush, bronzer, highlighter and everything, so it's a little bit harder to kind of see it there, but you can kind of see on my nose like the nice radiant finish. Definitely very, very pretty. I really like the finish of this foundation, and I think it looks very natural. Like the way you can still see my skin underneath a little bit. Like I said, some people will not like that. For me though, I just think it looks beautiful when you can see like a little bit of your natural like color. You can still kind of see some of my freckles and everything. I'm sure you could probably build up the foundation even more, but I just didn't want to. I didn't want to have like too many layers on. I feel like my skin does not look worse than normal. I don't think it's amazing for like concealing texture and stuff like that either. You can definitely still see my natural skin texture, my pores, congested skin down here where I've got like some little lumps and bumps. Like it still just looks the same. You know, it doesn't look worse, it just looks the same. So to me, that's fine. It's nice when a foundation does like blur and perfect my skin. For example, like that House Labs one kind of did. I'll link that first impression down below if you want to go watch that. But I'm also not going to be angry at a foundation, you know, for not filtering my skin, as long as it doesn't look worse. Because if we're putting on foundation and it looks worse, then we've got a problem. This just makes my skin still just look like my skin, except obviously it looks more made up and, you know, more even. I think it is very, very pretty. So far I do like it. I don't know, it's very expensive though. And I would just die to see this with like setting mist, maybe less powder and things. I'm definitely gonna have to like do another follow-up video using this and like another get ready with me and showing you it in some different ways. We still do have the whole day ahead of us. Lots of things can still go wrong. So we'll see how long wear it is. It claimed to be like 12 hours, didn't it? Once again, here's just a quick like close up of my skin so you can really see it up close. And that's without using a pore filling primer or like smoothing primer or anything as well. Like that's just my skin. So yeah, we'll test it out for 12 hours. I will see you again though for an update in a couple more hours. We'll just check back throughout the day, see how it's going. Hello everyone. So it is 4:14, so that's the 6 hour mark. This is what I like to say, at least. You know, I want my makeup to look at least good for 6 hours. Definitely does. Looks actually incredible, to be honest. Like that nice little sweet spot where like all of my natural oils are just peeking through, and like it just looks really smooth. Nothing's worn off, nothing has creased whatsoever. I did wonder if it would like crease into lines and things, considering it's very like hydrating and everything. I thought maybe it would melt around the nose, but Look, the nose looks pretty good. That's usually like somewhere I will notice melting. I did wipe a little bit off, like, can you kind of see, like, in here? I feel like I wiped a little bit off when I put this hoodie on. It's not bad though, but I definitely feel like it transferred. These stains are not all from today, by the way. I've been wearing this hoodie just while I've been editing, like, you know, a few times this week, so this is like fake tan and makeup from the past few days. Gross. But I still feel like if you like touch certain areas, like it still like transfers a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like completely transfer proof at all. I think it looks very pretty though. I really like the way it's looking. Unfortunately, we're gonna ruin the eye makeup. These lashes look bomb, but they're just sliding around and I just, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. Whatever. Okay, the eye makeup looks so much crapper without lashes on, but comfort is key right now. I feel like in some of the footage, it looks slightly cakey. I was watching back the clips from earlier today in this video. Some clips kind of look a little bit cakey. I feel like it's kind of more so like where my texture and everything is. Like, I don't want to say the foundation emphasizes it on my texture, but it's there. Like we were saying earlier, it's there. I just need a really good face mask and like exfoliation right now, you know? But I wouldn't say it looks like heavy cakey. It doesn't look like I'm wearing like a shitload of foundation, in my opinion. There's definitely other foundations which I feel like look a bit heavier, if you know what I mean. I think if you've got heavily textured skin, you may not like this though. Just, you know, looking at how it looks over this area where I've got more texture on my face. On some other areas where I've got less texture, I think it looks like really smooth, but I don't think it's like smoothing. Anyway, I like how it looks so far. I'm worried that it's gonna get extra greasy looking though. Hello, it is now almost 7 p.m. So 9 hours and we'll do the next one at 12 hours. I've been like crying laughing. Okay, so I'm so tired, like real tired. And whenever I'm like super tired, I either just kind of go loopy, laugh and cry at everything, or I get shitty. Anyways, oh my god, this pimple like is still raging through. Look, I don't feel like it's faded a lot more. I think it's faded slightly. I'm quite hot too, so it's also possible that my skin is just flushing more right now. I feel like I look definitely shinier on the forehead. It's still not really melting around the nose. I think it's starting to. It still looks fine. Like, I still think the foundation looks really good considering. Like, that's been a decent amount of time. There's not really anything else to say other than the fact that it's just, yeah, starting to get shinier in my forehead, like T-zone area where like my natural oils are probably coming through at this point. Keeping in mind as well that I've got artificial lights on, so it looks worse on camera than it would in real life. It hasn't emphasized texture any more than any of the past updates. It's not sunk in anywhere weird. It's wearing really nicely. Tired Shannon forgot to plug in her microphone, so I'm gonna dub over myself. Let's see how seamless I can make this. Hello, it is 10 p.m. So this is 12 and a half or just over 12 and a half hours. I feel like it hasn't faded that much more. I think it's faded a little bit more, but it's not too bad for the amount of time. I also feel like it is more shiny on my T-zone, especially on my nose. My forehead's obviously quite oily at this point. It still doesn't look terrible around my nose. Usually it looks like so melted by now. You know, it's worn off nicely, I guess you could say. And normally by this point I'm itching to take off my makeup and like wash off my makeup because it just starts feeling very makeup-y. I don't have that feeling. Like, if anything, it's more my mascara. Like, I want to get rid of the mascara, but my face feels fine. It feels like nothing. Okay, doing the dub over is way too difficult, but basically here I am saying that I think it would be amazing during the daytime. I'd love to wear this again during the daytime. I think in the evening time it might be a bit too glowy. Here I'm saying that the only thing really holding me back with like recommending this to you guys 100% is the price point. I think it is kind of pricey. I mean, everything's pricey these days. Oh my goodness, it's just outrageous. But I have to say I do really like it, and I will 100% be using this more often, and you'll be seeing it in more videos. I think it's like such a good everyday foundation if I was wanting like a bit of coverage. It's a little bit glam, but it's still so pretty just for day to day as well, and it feels so comfortable to wear. So yeah, I'll pop that one in the down bar for you to have a browse if you want to. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Let me know what foundation you'd like to see next, and I'll chat to you guys in my next video. Bye bye.